The elegance and beauty of the light greatsword. The raw power of new unlocked bleed. And finally, just a little bit of
righteous tarnished. We will have our victory.
Oh yes, this one is fun. Hello, my fellow tarnished. Welcome finally to a Milady build from yours truly. And no, we're not just going to go instantly into wing stance, though wing stance is phenomenal and one of the greatest reasons to play Light Greatsword, but there are plenty of others. A lot of them we will be exploring today. First and foremost, the moveset. Bow for one-handed and power stance, it is brilliant. They also have some absolutely solid AR, and they work shockingly well with the classic duo Blood skills, Blood Blade and Bloody Slash. See, in the long now ago past of base Elden Ring, I did a Bloodblade build with Nagakiba. It worked really well, but I do think that Milady is a strict upgrade, alongside with a couple other choice pieces we'll be including. And that's because its AR is slightly higher in the exact same setup, but also it still has that longer reach that the Nagakiba boasts. Not quite as long, but it more than makes up for it in what it brings that the katanas don't. In any case then, yeah, we have ourselves a Blood Blade on the right, we have Bloody Slash on the left, and we have an incredibly potent, rapid-hitting, hard-hitting, bleeding, power-stanced moveset that gives us this trifecta three-pronged attack option that is glorious. You can go in full spamming Blood Blade and shred to your heart's content. On a boss that's harder to do that again, you can go in with Bloody Slash, carefully placed, chunking out health throughout the fight. Or, if you just want to do it old school, get right up in their face and just stab away with your regular hits, and you will also absolutely shred, as you've been seeing with the three fights in the background using all three methods exclusively. But you don't have to use them exclusively, of course. You can mix and match throughout the fight as you go, getting your pokes, getting your Bloody Slash, getting your Bloody Blade when there's a larger opening. It really is phenomenal. And now in the DLC, we have ways to power up these blood skills like the anshbach armor set, which is why it does involve a little bit of his greatness as the tied best NPC of the DLC, along with Mr. Egon. I'm sure you can agree. And I find it very fitting that we are using an elegant, graceful weapon in Light Greatsword, as that's very fitting of him and his dynastic sickle play with his own scythe. In any case, this all comes together to give you a breadth of options to dealing with any given situation. Milady Light Greatsword in an entirely new focus, and the backup of any given incantations you would like classic Bloodflies. I've had an absolutely ton of fun with this, and I hope you will too. Let's get into it. Stats to start then. 60 vigor, this is at 150 of course, and enough mind and endurance to feel comfortable with the build. Medium rolling and having enough stamina left over to spam your power stance attacks and Ash of War, and the FP to back it up without having to chug flasks. I find this is a nice sweet spot, but you can push it in either direction to your own taste. 12 strength for Milady, and then intelligence doesn't matter. 25 faith for our usual buffs, and a couple extra options if you're so inclined, and then arcane 45 to scale the bleed, and indeed our AR a little bit as it is set to blood, but then dex afterwards, as that's going to give us more bang for our buck. So pour all of your spare points into dex up to 80 if you're not using millies, and 75 if you are. After that, it's back in arcane. Equipment items and such, you've got your Milady with Bloodblade set to blood, and then you've got Milady with Bloody Slash set to blood. Lots of build up, solid raw AR War, and of course monstrous Ash of Wars both. Then you just want a seal. I would recommend the Arcane Seal in Dragon Communion, plus Tenet if you are going to be casting offensive incantations like Blood Flies. I've just been buffing, so I've left it as this for now, but that's as an option for you. You want the White Mask specifically, because although anshbach does boost the skills, the White Mask is a bigger boost to everything, so it's hard to justify, but if you want pure fashion, then yeah, feel free to throw on anshbach's helmet. For the rest of it though, yes, anshbach's attire, each one is a lovely couple percent to both Bloody Slash and Blood Blade, so why not? It also looks pretty damn good. Alexander's to boost the skills, the Bloodlords to boost everything, and then a little bit of rapid hitness. You either want Millies if you are sub 80 dex, or you want Rotten Winged if you aren't, and then Dragon Crest to counter the lower negation that we do have from the armor. Though if you want to go pure damage, then do the usual double of both Rotten and Millies. We can proc it quite a lot, both spamming Bloodblade and the actual power stanced moveset. Really, this is your flex talisman slot, so choose what you're comfortable with. In your Wondrous Physic, you want the Opaline for that damage negation, and then either the Thorny Cracked for successive hits, or the slow heal over time to counteract the little bit of self-damage that both Ashes of War will do. For your spells, Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength for the lovely damage and damage reduction. Something like Swarm of Flies is nice to have that ranged pokey option, and then Bestial Vitality, as we might as well. It will counteract the self-damage of the skills, and just give you a little bit more comfort in fights. There's no harm in it. Past that, literally anything you want that you have the stats for, which is a fair amount of stuff with 25 Faith and at least 45 arcane. Then when it comes to piloting it, essentially just choose the best answer to the enemy in front of you. Fire Knight attacks a lot, and it's harder to get your Blood Blade off, so Blood Slash is really good, as it will do very decent stagger and a lot of damage, letting you chunk out enemies like this. But there's also nothing wrong with going in with your melee pokes that are quite powerful. Like so. Obviously a little bit more tradey there than I would have liked, but I wanted to just get the demonstration across. And when you're just randomly level clearing, I mean, there's no need to bust out the skills, because you really do have quite the quick, fast output from just power stancing the Miladies. And then finally, whenever you can, you want to spam that Bloodblade, because it is going to be your most effective damage option, but it does require, of course, the enemy to actually give you the opening to do it, which in this case is harder to find, but still certainly doable. And that is about that. The rest of the time, I mean, stay buffed up and do your best. When it comes then to actually acquiring the new stuff, there's actually only two things: the Milady itself and the anshbach set. So for Milady, you start at the Castle Front Grace, go across the bridge, and your objective is this tower that I can see right here. It's a chest in that. So you can quite literally just walk up towards it. You will eventually climb up to the keep itself, and then a big old ladder, and it will be right in front of you. When it comes to getting a second one, of course, that will need either New Game Plus or for someone to drop it for you, which is also completely viable, and one of the places you can do that if you don't have someone to do so is in our Discord community down below. There is plenty of people willing to trade and drop, well, essentially anything you need. Then for the anshbach set, this one is late, like post-final boss late. You have to complete his quest properly, and then you will find his corpse after the final boss that you can loot for both his weapon and his attire. So that's, of course, a lot to sneak into a whole build video, but we do have a complete guide to it up on the channel. And that then is that. Two classic, powerful, that got even more powerful with various buffs, Bloody Ash of Wars, applied to the new loveliness that is Milady, Light Greatswords, and everything that they do, combined with the anshbach set for that little extra kick, and it just makes everything oh so sweet to play. I've really enjoyed this as a more well-rounded multiple option setup, and I hope you guys do. Let me know if there's any particular type of build you're hankering for. I would be happy to design it for you, but until then, I have plenty more concepts to show you, so I hope you look forward to it. For now then, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe, hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.